considerable amount of interdisciplinary research going on at the College of Ocean Fisheries Sciences. We're doing a study of the morphodynamics of beaches and how waves move sediment along the shoreline. And that's related to how the optical qualities of the water affects the productivity of the water or the ability of eelgrass to grow along the shoreline. And that relates to work that we're doing on juvenile chum salmon migratory behavior that are required to migrate in very shallow water and prefer eelgrass habitats both for refuge and food.
With the University of Washington being in Seattle and right on the Puget Sound, it's an exciting place to live and to study because the research I'm doing directly impacts where I'm living and my quality of life there. Salmon populations have been important culturally for hundreds of years. They've allowed coastal communities to thrive. Currently, though, many of the Puget Sound populations are in trouble. For instance, the summer chum here in Hood Canal are listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. So hopefully what we learn here can help restore the populations to healthy numbers. I typically start in the morning and I arrive at a site, unload all my gear, set up the ladder and the video camera. Our work is an attempt to discover what different eelgrass landscape patterns mean to the fish. And as they migrate, likely their schooling behavior changes as they encounter different landscape patterns. So we're measuring their schooling behavior to see if there's differences in the way they use these eelgrass landscapes. I'll just film 10-minute clips and follow the tide down through the different habitats because as you can see, the upper intertidal is a lot different habitat than down here in the lower intertidal eelgrass beds. And then I'll follow the tide back up and film clips as the tide comes in. Some of the measurements that we're going to be making for these fish schools to classify their behavior is like, for instance, school size and distances between fish in the schools, differences in the direction they're pointing, because all of these things are properties of the schools as they migrate.
When we start looking at what recovery is going to require to return those stocks to viability, then we start understanding that it can't all happen in the spawning grounds. And of course we can't do too much about the marine effects in the ocean. So what we really need to do is link our restorative efforts in the watersheds with the estuarine and the nearshore marine habitats.
I love being out in the field. I mean, it's beautiful out here. I spend 2.5 months on the Hood Canal nearly every single day. It's great. It's one of my favorite things is getting out in the field and reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing.